I love the CB300F. It first came out in 2015 and it really established itself as a easy to learn to ride motorcycle and good for around town. So it's your all-around good bike for beginners, even experienced riders that just want something cheaper to commute on. I use these a lot into the Learn to Ride course, and I've got 3 of them. I've got a 2018 one there, 2015, 2017. They're all the same. They're just good bikes, so I get them when I can get a good deal on them. And so if you're looking to buy one as your first bike, you cannot go wrong. Sure, there's other bikes out there, but for your first bike, you want something reliable and easy to ride, and this is it. And here's why. So these bikes come with a single cylinder engine, which is your one pipe right there. And that's very reliable. I have not had anything major go wrong with them with the engine. So these engines are very bulletproof. Just change the oil once a year, every 5,000 kilometers or so, and you're good to go. So this engine is 286 cc's, bringing out a 30 horsepower to get you around town, but that will still get you up to 130 kilometers an hour or about 80 miles an hour, no problem. The bike is just fine up at those higher speeds. You just may not enjoy it as it does get a bit buzzy and the vibrations are a bit much. It weighs about 350 pounds, which feels like more. It can feel a bit heavier, but still a lot lighter than a lot of other bikes. If you've got the CB300R, the more retro looking, they weigh the same, but the CB300R, it feels a lot lighter. This one feels heavier. The fuel tank is 13 liters or 3.4 gallons. And that'll get you your 200 kilometers, 250 kilometers, no problem at all. The seat height is 29.7 inches, so it's a little higher. So if you are a little shorter, you will not be able to flat foot it, but get yourself some thicker motorcycle boots with a bigger sole and you'll do just fine. If that's still too tall, start on a Honda Grom. A Honda Grom is basically a smaller version of this. They have ABS, so you have a nice good single disc brake up there, and ABS if things get too exciting for you and you have to grab those front brakes really hard. It's got your standard, signal bulbs and standard halogen headlight, and same thing back here, your standard tail light and signal lights with a rather large exhaust pipe. So I mean, you're not buying this bike for its awesome killer looks. It looks good enough, and you got a few color schemes to choose from. What's not pictured here is a black one, but I think I've got pretty much all the colors here. So this one here is a 2015 CB300F, and this one has been the most abused. It's been crashed on either side. It's probably been upside down. There isn't a panel on this bike that hasn't been damaged in or some way, shape, or form, but it still runs good. And part of that reason too is this crash bar or crash cage that we put on it. So you can see it's fairly marked up. So I definitely recommend these as they're pretty good. You can also just get the frame sliders, and these do a pretty good job as well, but you just can't beat a 3-point crash bar. And we got this one from Crazy Iron, which is from Russia, so you're probably not going to be able to get this right now, but there are other crash cages, crash bars like these, which I definitely recommend it. It might cost you $500, but it certainly saves a lot of damage if you're just taking a bit of extra time to learn how to ride. Changing the oil is not a big deal. You've got the bolt underneath the bike. You've got a nice sight window too. This is where your oil filter is. So pretty easy bike to do an oil change on. Since it's a single cylinder, it just has one spark plug there. So I do recommend changing that, every 20,000 kilometers, maybe every 20,000 miles. You can go a bit longer. They do get pretty black. But other than that, it's a very solid engine. So you just need to put gas in it, change its oil, wash it, take care of the chain, and this bike will run pretty much forever. The stock tires that come with these bikes are called a road winner. And so anything I find that has like a very overly positive name, I tend to be careful about. So like the road winner tire. Sure, it's fine, but something from Michelin or even Dunlop would be a bit better. So I mean, I've got the Michelin Pilot Street on here. That's fine. I've also got a Dunlop Q3 up front here, which is a little bit much. I mean, I've used these tires at the track before, so probably something like a Pilot Road would be the best tire for this motorcycle. But when you do buy these, check the age of the tire. So the age of a motorcycle tire is usually on the sidewall. Let's find one for you here. So yeah, there's that one there, 0517. So this tire's from 2017. Once it gets to 5 years old, you should probably replace it. So if you find a 2015 model with low kilometers, check the tires. They're probably original, and swap those out so you have a stickier tire to ride on. So after years of using these motorcycles to teach people how to ride, I definitely love them. I still like buying them. So if you find one for a pretty good deal, around $3,000, that's a solid bet. When you're learning to ride, you want something reliable and easy. And this bike is one of the best. I mean, you can buy a Duke 390 or an R3 or the Kawasaki Z400 or Ninja 400. They're all good. But you can't go wrong with this bike and how durable and tough it is. I find Hondas do put up with the most amount of abuse and damage, and so that's why they get the extra bump from me. But if you do want something a little sporty, that CB300R is awesome, but that Kawasaki Ninja Z400 or Ninja 400 is pretty cool too. I mean, there's so many good bikes out there, it's hard to choose. So find the best deal, and if it's one of these, you can't go wrong.